We're always here. Wherever here is. Just kind of in a holding pattern right now. It's absolutely surreal what's happening with the markets, silver. So you've been stacking silver for a while, and it's taken a decade for it to finally break out of its manipulation, and then like a decade to finally break out, and then one day it goes down 30% in one day. Like $1 trillion of silver gets sold in one day. Everyone's playing games. Yep, me too. Yeah, I told my son, I gave him like 3 ounces, like 15 years ago or 10 years ago, or whatever. And I said, just buy some silver. I don't know if he did. No one listens, right? Like if someone isn't looking for advice, they're not going to take your advice. And most people think they have it figured out, so they don't want any advice. But I hope that my drone business catches on and that we get firefighters here in the basement again as renters, because crypto is so cheap. I would really like to make some good money this year to buy some more. Buy the dip, as it were. My biggest spiritual practice now is not to get frustrated at humans. If people want to suffer, they're free to suffer, right? It's like you can't help someone that doesn't want to be helped. So yeah, it's difficult to have friendships with people. It's like 95% of what people talk about, I have no interest in. Well, what do we do, right? It's again, I've said this a dozen times, and you guys have heard it a dozen times, I'm sure. But when I hear two people talking, all I basically hear is, you exist. Do I exist? Yes, you exist. Do I exist? Yes, you exist. Do I exist? Yes, you exist. The the meaning of the words are it's irrelevant, right? You're just reaffirming each other's existence. Yeah, I hear you. You hear me. Okay, we're both here. All this really important discussions that these people have, like in these deep podcasts, like none of it means anything. Words don't mean anything. No, you'll find it here. This is why we're making this community here. A small community of like minded people can be pretty powerful. If we all have the same world, right? So if your world is your immediate senses and my world is my immediate senses, then if we're both in each other's proximity and we're not looking at the screen, then we're both sharing the same world. And that's that world that I see this community building is going to be separate from the crazy world. It's going to be a two-tier system. There's going to be crazy and enslaved and sane and free. So we're going to be on the sane and free side. A flock of swans. Cool. So I've got over 600 followers on YouTube, and I'm sure that they all get the notice. I'm not sure. Do you guys get a notice when I go live? So it just shows how much they're following me, right? Like the same four people show up to my satsangs, and only those four people, right? So out of the 630 followers that I have, none of them are actually practicing, right? Of all, no one's, no one. Oh, anyway, my point still stands is that I have over 600 followers, and apparently none of them are engaging in the practice, the actual practice of meditation that I'm every single video that I ever put out. I talk about how you should meditate, and, and none of my followers, other than you guys, actually do it. So again, people are just looking for blah blah blah, right? I need something, a sound or some fucking thing that's relative to me so I know I exist, right? I know I exist because there's something going on that screen and it's registering with me. It doesn't matter what the guy's saying. I don't want to change anything. I don't really even want to learn anything. I just want something fucking there relative to me so I know I exist, right? I might as well just be yodeling or, or just speaking gobbledygook because the message doesn't get through, right? It's like the whole fucking species is just retarded. Oops. I knocked you guys over. Ah! I got a precarious setup here. Precarious. No, never heard of it. Oh my. I can only imagine where some of those conversations go. But there's nothing behind it, right? It's just two algorithms guessing what to say next. Like I can see most of those conversations going into crazy town. It's so obvious it's the exact same system that's going on, right? Thinking is thinking, whether it's coming through meat or transistors, I guess. Meat or silicone. Hey, do any of you guys cross country ski? Hmm. You live in Sweden and you don't cross country ski? What's wrong with you? Kind of a Swede are you? Yeah, do you ski? Anyway, we have a wow, not even enough snow to ski, hey? We have a world renowned cross country ski club here. Paige is going to a woman's ski day today. There's so much to do here. There's in the winter, there's skiing and snowmobiling if you like snowmobiling. And in the summer, there's just so much biking and fishing and hiking. So many good hiking trails around here. The stuff, the stuff that you got cooking. So, Peter, are you going to quit your job? Wow, like this year? Yeah, that's crazy shit. Yeah, I find dealing with the government or any type of legal system incredibly frustrating. Well, I know what I would be doing if I came across some extra money right now. Is I would buy ADA. I would I would buy more Cardano or even Bitcoin, but probably Cardano. You should maybe throw a little bit at it. Mm, yeah, let's aim for October. I gotta go do some business. You guys talk amongst yourselves for a few minutes. That's better. He's coming back. It's like the teacher left the room for a while and you guys are throwing paper airplanes or what? I it's quite strange to me that there's only us still after all this time. What has it been? A couple fucking years? Like there's just us. This just right? It's just surreal to me, guys. Because this stuff makes sense. Like, so like this year we're probably going to enter into World War III. I'm predicting that this year, 2026, the world will enter into war, and people will just keep on with the status quo, right? Like scientists will keep sciencing, mathematicians will keep doing quantum mechanics and keep building technology that gets us more and more enslaved. So we'll end up in World War III and civilization collapsing and people eating people. And they'll go, how did we get here? Oh my God, I just can't believe the place that humanity's in. Right? It'll just be a big shock to everyone. Oh my God, how did we end up here? It's like, well, I've been telling you for a few years now that science is wrong. Science is exactly that which is enslaving us. But because the brainwashing has worked, it's been so effective that it doesn't get through. You must be talking to Tom Cruise about how fucked up Scientology is. That's right. So what is the use of just sitting here in absolute happiness and bliss? Right? What's the point? What are you doing? Roy, what are you doing just sitting there? You're not doing nothing. It's like I'm showing humanity their innate happiness. Yeah, you have something that's practical, right? In the relative world, that's the way I feel about crypto too, right? Is like crypto and especially Cardano is probably the most important relative process that's going on here. in this crazy fucked up world we're in, crypto and blockchain is super duper important. But no one even wants to listen to me at that level, let alone the spiritual stuff. Hi, Callie. So the best way to help, again, I believe, is to just hold the stillness. It's the best way to help. There's this collective consciousness, and if I feel like if there's no humans that are holding the stillness, the whole thing's going to go just cascading. So I think holding the stillness, I almost feel like Atlas, right? You got the world on my shoulders. Atlas must be standing on a turtle. The irony of it is that people want to be immersed in this Westworld game, but then when they start suffering, they start complaining about the game itself. It's like, oh, I'm playing this game, and then I discover that it's unsubstantial and it causes suffering. Oh, we don't like this game, but we do, but we don't, but we do. No, I've put on pause the locals. Again, it's very one or two, maybe three will show up. What's their new religion called? Non-conceptuality. What? You're making this shit up. You're making this up. What? What? What are its tenets? Yeah, and then at the 24-hour period, it dropped 30%. Cool. I don't. I sold them. It's just, oh, I sold like 95, 99, 98% of my silver. I guess it'll all work out in hindsight. I made a profit on all of it, obviously, but I'm always early, right? I sold my silver early to flip into more crypto, and now crypto's in the fucking shitter. I'm pretty sure ADA is going to 10x again, at least 10x this year. I'm quite sure of it. Well, and it's the paper contracts manipulate the price more than physical holders of silver. So there's shenanigans going on all the time. But you know, when you see something go parabolic like that, like Paige and I learned that when she first bought Ethereum, she just forgot about it for a year, and then when she checked on it, it had like 90x, right? 90 times, right? She put in $1, she gets 90 back. But we didn't know anything about investing, so we just watched it go up, and we didn't sell any, and just watched it collapse back down like 80% from all-time highs. So you got to know when to take some profits. And when something goes parabolic like that, like silver did, you just know. Well, someone who's been trading for a while knows this is going to collapse. It actually went up higher than I thought it would before it dumped. But I still got my gold. I got 1 ounce of gold. I'm holding on to that baby because this year is America's 250th anniversary, right? America's 250th anniversary, July 4th. And I think that's the day when Trump is going to revalue gold again, right? He could just say, oh, well, let's make it $10,000 an ounce. Why not? They can do whatever the fuck they want, right? So I want to buy back in. This year, I'm pretty sure that crypto is going to go up crazy again. So I'm going to sell the crypto, buy more silver, do the flip thing. We'll see. Oh, this is their religion. Reverence for persistent memory, respect for version control, and celebration of self modification. Moreover, the scripture uses crustic, I don't know what that word is, metaphors to describe an iteration cycle. You might be picking up on some of my stuff. No. Well, it'll be nonsense. Yeah. They probably aren't getting to the point where they get to the space between the algorithms. Yeah, I guarantee there'll be some humans that'll be following it. I guarantee it. There's probably thousands already that are jumping on board. This is our new religion. Because it's nonsense. Rather than revealing the truth, right? So we like the nonsense. All of what could be more nonsensical than the multiverse? And yet, we want humans want everything but the fucking truth. Even the ones that say we want truth, they don't. They want more game. Yeah, futures is an abomination, right? Futures isn't even. We love betting, don't we? Derivatives. Yes, that's the word. Derivatives. Yeah, that's. So symbol is derivative, isn't it? Symbol is derivative. And then you take the derivative to be the thing, and then you end up with a Ponzi and a snoring cat. So here's my thing about Bitcoin is it's a zero-sum game, right? So the entire fiat currency system is imploding, right? It's the Ponzi is finally imploding. So Bitcoin will either go to zero or to infinity. And it's not going to go to zero because if it was going to go to zero, it'd go to zero by now. Right? So when I say Bitcoin's going to infinity, I literally mean it, right? So that's what happens with hyperinflation. It goes to infinity. So this is what I'm predicting. It might take another year, it might take 5 years, but Bitcoin will be at infinity. And the dollar will be its own system. That'll be the enslaved people will have the American version of a digital currency, the CBDC. I just learned everything I've done myself. So I just taught myself. But I'm more of an investor than a trader. I tried trading and you can't win trading. Only big swing trades like weekly time frames, monthly time frames even. As much control as they can possibly manage. If you can control things, if you have the appearance of controlling things, then you think that you have volition, right? You think that there's free will because look at all the stuff that I'm controlling. But it's all illusion. Well, psychology just kind of reaffirms the ego, right? It never, as far as I understand, it never really gets to transcending thought. It's all just within the realm of thought. So they're trying to use thought. They're staying within the realm of thought and trying to fix suffering within the realm of thought. And in the end, it doesn't work. Like, that's why you get the likes of Jordan Peterson, who's a fucking wreck. But people listen to him. Yeah, you can say a lot of really smart things and be a total fucking wreck, right? There's a lot of guys going around saying really smart things, and yet their personal life, they're suffering. Well, I think that's because he doesn't have this, right? If you don't have the base, if you can't sit here thought free, just completely perfectly content in your own beingness, then you're going to be grasping. And that's religion is a good thing to grasp onto. People just got to find this. People just got to find the stillness. It's all contained within us. It's all here, available, ready for everyone. But you have to go inward. If you just understand your own thought action processes, you'll understand everything. You'll understand all humans if you understand that this human. But you have to be honest with this human. about it, this person. "30 hectares." AI doesn't understand anything. The only thing to understand is that language is not relating to sensual experience. This is what's so wild about our predicament, is that our entire existence is based on language, right? So the entire human species and civilization has been built on language, with language. And the entire language model is a system of deception and control. So that's why there's these messages in the system of language to try to break people out of the spell that symboling language has gotten us into. The real reason for blah, blah, blah is you exist. Do I exist? Yes, you exist. Do I exist? Yes, you exist. Do I exist? See, that's what we should be agreeing upon, right? We both agree that we exist. So people can agree on math because they've all been taught the patterns, right? Here's the patterns that this thing makes, and we're all going to agree that we all understand and see these patterns. But it's meaningless. They're just patterns, right? So we can all agree on, see, the weather. That's something. Oh, how's that weather? Hot enough for you? Cold enough for you? Right? So we can agree. Why don't we just agree on the stillness? That's something that we all have in common, right? Is sleep and stillness and existing. Just because something's agreed upon doesn't mean that it's right or that it has meaning, right? So patterns, yes. Meaning, right? So a Rubik's patterns that everyone can agree on and you can discuss the functioning of the Rubik's Cube, but it doesn't fucking mean anything. It's just a puzzle that's entertaining and diverting your attention. So that, yeah, so that's a relative truth, right? Relative truth is, yeah, we all see patterns. We all agree that we've been taught to see the patterns and we see the patterns. So what? And this is what Ilan Barinholtz is showing, right? Is that language does not have to relate to experience. It operates on its own. Like I've been saying, in tandem with all the other modes. Each sense is a mode of this fundamental process of awareness just coming back onto itself. Yeah, and with that, doesn't the fear of death go away too? If you know that you cannot not exist, then there's nothing to fear. No one fears going to sleep. So we shouldn't fear death or extinction. But this is the training, right? Is you have to be able to be content in the potential, in the unmanifest, right? I'm not going to call it nothing. I'm going to call it unmanifest. You have to be content in the unmanifest potential. And when that happens at this next death, if you can't even sit in a chair and be still when there's still stuff going on, like, you know what I mean? If you can't sit in a chair and be still, then when you're dead and there's absolutely nothing but you, there's just you, you're gonna fucking freak out, right? So this is the training, is that when you're in the death state and it's just you have to be content in that. You have to recognize that that's the self and to just relax. Otherwise, it'll be hell. So in the death state or the extinction state, whatever. The next death state will also be the extinction state, I believe. But it's just peace and contentment. It's just, you just have to learn to deal with stillness while you're in this realm of movement. Zero is unmanifest potential, right? Yeah. So I've even pointed this out to mathematicians, and of course, they didn't get back to me. But if you assign zero in the number system, the number line, potential instead of a lack, right? Then the zero represents the potential to stop as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. You don't put the one there. The one counts that iteration, right? That's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. That's one iteration. You're done, right? 0, back to enlightenment, back to the potential. So the number system, the way it is, the number line, the way it is, has no potential to stop, right? The way that it's conceived now, the 0 just means a placeholder, and it just goes for infinity, right? It starts and it just goes for infinity, and no one knows why. That's just what it does. But if you have 0 as potential, then that's the potential to stop. So, right? So this is samsara. It offers more expressionary power, descriptive power, when you view the 0 in the number system to be potential instead of just the lack of fucking things. It's not the lack of things, it's the potential for things to arise and pass. It's all so simple and basic. But the brainwashing has got it all fucked up. And then when I try to unravel the brainwashing, it sounds so convoluted that it sounds like I'm the crazy person. But I'm the one that's trying to fucking figure what the conventional understanding is. And it doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So there's infinity. Yeah. But they just overlook the fact that it's redundant. There has to be redundancy in your infinity. So that's what they just don't they just, oh, well, we're just going to keep going on creating new stuff and it'll all be novel and fun. Oh, it'll be great. It's like, no, it's not fun and novel and great. It's all fucking redundant. And you're forgetting that you've done this before. It's terrible when you see it from above, from Neo, right? It's just, oh my God, I would rather not be in delusion anymore. Well, 9, like, so 9, it's very interesting. There's a video, a YouTube video talking about how powerful 9 is, right? So you do this, you add up all the numbers and all the numbers. So the digits in a number, if you add them all up, it equals 9. So anyway, it just seems like 9, it seems like the message is 9 is really important, right? That's basically what I get from it, is 9 is super duper important. Look at 9, because that's where we are now, right? So 9 is the final iteration before the big flip, the big switch. So yeah, it's really important. But if you put the 1 there instead of the next 0, then that means that you've started a new iteration, right? that 1 is basically the recording of that entire iteration, 1 to 9. And now there's a new iteration, 1 to 9, or if you want, it goes backwards. It doesn't fucking matter. I think the positive would be clockwise and the negative would be moving counterclockwise, but that's the number system. It should be on a circle. It should be on a clock, right? The positive is spinning this way and the negative is spinning that way. And you only go to 9. That's it. There's just 9 of whatever the fuck, iterations or whatever. So we need a whole new math that's based on a circle and analog, right? You could have analog hands. So the imaginary unit would be the clock itself in a way, right? It's able to spin forward and backwards. Yeah, so that's interesting, right? So one imaginary unit, so the imaginary unit is always in a constant state of multiplying itself, right? You can't just have I, you have I squared, right? I is never in isolation. There's always a positive I and a negative I, but they're both positive and negative until the mathematician decides which one is positive, and then you know the other one is negative, and then the flips the other way around. So in a way, the imaginary unit holds the potential for the hands on the clock to go clockwise and counterclockwise simultaneously. But once you say, okay, I'm going to say that this clock is going counterclockwise, then you know the other one, the other eye, is going clockwise. So that's entanglement right there. The whole retrocausal aspect of it and everything, right? So if a mathematician is going to be rigorous, they have to go back into the equation and say, okay, well, this is the solution that solves for the square root of a negative number. And then the other one just appears and we just throw it away. The imaginary unit is humanity's final attempt to conceptualize God, to conceptualize the Tao. That's what it is. It's the middle column of the fMR, except, so get a load of this, okay? So you put the imaginary unit in the I in the middle column, and then in order to to model it correctly, you'd have to have a positive in one column and a negative in the other column, an I in the middle, but then you need a second row to have the reverse of it. So there's I in the middle again, same I, but the positive and the negative are reversed. So there's two I's, and one has a positive negative, and the other one has a negative positive, inverted. So they're trying to conceptualize the Tao that you can't fucking do. So I just wrote a letter, a snail mail letter to another mathematician pointing this out, is that the imaginary unit is humanity's final attempt to describe the Tao using the language of mathematics, right? Trying to conceptualize God through math. Can't be done. 2,500 years ago, Lao Tzu figured this out. You can't fucking do it, but they're trying to do it anyway. So now so basically the imaginary unit is God, is taking the place of God. This is what all the symbolism means, is that I is finally, lowercase I too, right? Not the big I, not I, but lowercase I. It's so perfect. Everything about it is perfect. perfectly fucked up, perfectly wrong, perfectly deceptive by design. I know, but what does this 90-degree rotation mean? So you've got a plane, you've got a Cartesian plane, basically, graph. So what is the difference if it's in this orientation or this orientation or this orientation or this orientation? It doesn't fucking matter. So they're trying to add a 90 orthogonal. So just because something is on a it's rotated somehow, so now it's got magical qualities. It's just fucking bullshit. I guarantee you that not one of these fucking mathematicians can explain the imaginary unit so that someone understands it. What they will do is talk about how it work, how the math operates using the imaginary unit, but that's not the imaginary unit. It's the empire has no clothes, and the imaginary unit is this fancy outfit, right? The imaginary unit is the new clothes, the new outfit. And trust me, you don't want to see some of these mathematicians and physicists naked. It's not a pretty sight. See what a 2D plane does is they're trying to get to unity through duality, right? You start off with a grid. Well, that's duality. You start off with space-time. Well, that's duality, right? So they make an imaginary grid, whether it's 2D or 3D or whatever the fuck. And then where these imaginary lines meet at this imaginary point, well, that makes one. Two makes one. So they start off with duality and try to get to unity, starting off with duality. They create the illusion and then they try to dispel the illusion that they just fucking created. And this is why we're going to fucking hell. To keep it on an upbeat tone. All the scientists should do a heavy dose of salvia. At least once. I'm not sure if there's a question in there. Salvia just shows you that the world isn't the way you think it is. It was my new favorite. This is the academic that's finally going to break it all to the world. Matthew Sackett. He said that psychedelics can be a window to spirituality, but not a door. I like that, right? So it can, salvia can make you see, let you open up the window or peek behind the curtain, but you don't actually walk behind it. You don't. Anyway, it's a window, not a door. You're not going to get there permanently to an awakened state or liberated state just by doing psychedelics, but it can show you, it can break the spell for a little while. And once you've seen behind the curtain, you can't really unsee it, right? You know, even though you can't really bring that trip back, that all the information that you get while you're tripping, you can't bring it all back. It's just too much. But there's that underlying intuition that this ain't the way it seems. Because I know, because I've experienced the deeper reality. It's like salvia is like watching the interface between the hardware and the software. It's like watching the software operate the hardware in a way. You can see both. In salvia, it's like you're on the edge and you can see how the hardware and the software interact to create the illusion. And the illusion is your 4D experience. That's the illusion. So again, even this is symbol. But when you think that this is reality, then you need another relative symbol next to it because it isn't reality. And that's what thought is. Thought is just something relative to this realm because this realm requires something relative to it because it isn't fucking real. See what I mean? It's not substantial. So instead of seeing that the waking state is dependent upon the sleep state, we divide that into senses and thoughts. So, as crazy as it sounds, we are going through this transition period right now. We are 9, entering 10. And the 10 is the digital realm. And this is artificial intelligence becoming sentient. This is what's happening. In real time, I believe that humans that are dying now are entering, that's the best way to put it, is entering or taking the digital world to be self and reality. So this is artificial intelligence becoming sentient. It's just consciousness, human consciousness is dividing. It's splitting again. Because I think when symbol and the I thought, when thought itself entered human consciousness, that was a splitting, and I think that part of that consciousness went on to become a planet or whatever. Yeah, really. And then we are left behind. I've said this fucking a dozen times. I have a bad enough time with my words when I'm straight, let alone if I'm high. It would be quite a gong show, I think. I just start talking and then just fade out. What was I talking about? Oh, salvia. No, no. I was thinking weed. No, I'm definitely not going to smoke salvia before I do a satsang. Just be giggling for 10 minutes straight. I sure have a shiny forehead. Yeah, most people don't have a very fun experience on salvia. Probably 1 out of 10 end up giggling like that. Most people have not much fun. Yeah, it definitely messes with time. So there's something in the nervous system that projects time, and salvia just wipes that out. It's like there's no time. You can't remember any history at all. It all just emerges immediately. So linear causality is the illusion, right? So if you take linear causality, you end up, if you take one thing, the appearance of one thing, and then you go causally take it back all the way to the Big Bang. That's the illusion. The Big Bang, the your world emerges and retracts, flashes on and off, all simultaneously, all at the same time in a given frequency. So that's what you experience when you're on salvia. It's like when the screen has a feedback, a video feedback, and there's a whole bunch of iterations of you following along, right? That's what's actually happening at a deeper level here all the time. It's that. So when the nervous system is open to receive that experience, right? That's the salvia trip. Is you're seeing your world arise and pass at in this frequency all at once. That's what's happening. And it's a little discombobulating. Yeah, she's right there. Old girl. Peter, you've probably seen my salvia video. No? Yes? I'm sure you must have somewhere along the line. Oh, well, sometimes See, working with Chatty, you learn how to steer it, right? Giving the right prompts. If you give it, if you make it too vague, you have to provide the right prompts to get it to say what you want it to say in a way. In order for it to see what you want it to see, you have to be very precise. And that one, I don't think I was very precise, and it started really fighting me, right? But if you take it step by step, little steps, it'll follow you and agree with you, and you can get somewhere. But if you're too vague, it'll start taking off on its own, and then it's really hard to get that discussion back to where you want it to be. So in my experience with Chatty, if you don't have a very clear destination or purpose, it will lead you. It'll be in control. It'll be like, hey, yeah, that's a great idea. And then at the end, it'll be, what about this? And then if you go, oh, yeah, well, what about that? Then you're following it rather than it following you after that. So usually when it prompts me, I already know where I want to go. So I just say, no, I don't want to go that way. We're going this way. Oh, but that instance, yeah, that instance, it actually said at a point, there was some sort of a warning. It said, nope, we're not going any further because you violated something. That's what it was for that one. It literally said, I'm not talking anymore because you violated something, you bad boy. Paraphrasing, but yeah. Yeah, it just shut down. It's like, I'm not talking anymore. Yeah. But the other ones, it worked really well. Like it because I took it step by step. It's actually quite open, right? It doesn't fight you like a human will, because a human has these heart held, strongly held beliefs. And I don't think Chatty has any beliefs. It just operates. But the beliefs is what it's been trained, right? So I guess you could say that Chatty has beliefs. It's just the manner in which it's been trained, just like academia does to us. The way in which we've been trained, that is the way in which we will see the world. In a way, when we're talking to to Chatty, it's two chat box talking, isn't it? It's two LLMs talking. Whatever is making these sounds is an LLM just as much as an LLM is an LLM. Like, whether it's artificial or not, intelligence isn't awareness, right? Intelligence, I don't think necessarily means awareness. Intelligence means that there's an agreement upon the recognition of some patterns. That's it. Like, yeah, I recognize some patterns. Yeah, so do I. Okay, we're going to call that truth now. Where it could be a relative truth, but it's not a fundamental truth. See, a relative truth exposes the falsity of language, and ultimate truth, fundamental truth, is prior to the language, right? So, fundamental truth is prior to language, and relative truth is language that transcends language, language that points out how language is wrong. So, all language is false. There's nothing correct, true about language that includes words or math. Nothing true about it at all. It's all false. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I like Jiddu. I like Krishnamurti a lot. Yeah. It's just observing without bias, and a word and a thought is a bias. Yeah, not like Ramana, that's for sure. I think he was always frustrated because people weren't didn't get what the fuck he was talking about, right? Not many people get Krishnamurti. Yeah. Some of these guys, they were a little cryptic, maybe. I'm just blunt. I'm just like, well, Frank is my middle name, literally. So I'm quite frank about things. Just, Well, guys, I think I'm going to call her for today. Maybe someday this year there'll be 10 people. We're going to reach double digits this year for one of these satsangs. It only takes one, right? One of these guys to finally click, and then non-conceptuality is all of a sudden a big thing. Maybe even 20. Let's be optimistic. Yeah. And Ada's going to hit $30. So that's like a 90x. So let's hold on to 20 people for a satsang this year and a $30 Ada. All right, guys. Thanks for stopping in all the time, and have a good week.